To Alex.
Alright, so there have been many misconceptions that surround the genre of music better known as hip hop, and these misconceptions can make the genre of music seem very unattractive to those who don't really listen to it very often. It's often negatively viewed due to its high amount of swearing and violence. Others also see it as a genre of music where it's a job that requires little to no talent. Others also see it as a glorification of topics such as sex, drugs, and women. And I do agree, there are some artists who do talk about these issues a lot. It's not what the entire genre is mainly about. It's just the ones we hear about the most because of its controversy. And hip hop has unquestionably become one of the most popular genre of music in the United States. It's commonly known for its self-expression, its common rags to riches stories, and its fair share of controversy. This genre of music created in our own New York City streets not only continues to exceed its musical impact, but has been part of our lives for many years and has affected many aspects of our lives. From the soothing music found at the grocery store, to the very loud music found in Hollister, to the music that follows the ice cream truck since our childhood. I can go as far as to say that some of the slang we use nowadays has been influenced by hip hop or one way or another. And hip hop has never been a stranger to self-expression. Since the very beginning of time, artists have talked about issues, problems, and events occurring in and around their lives. For years, we've seen mainstream artists try to one-up another by trying to act harder than the other, by having public beef with one another, showing off their guns in their music videos to show that they're hard. However, as time has gone by, we've seen a shift from rappers like Logic, Big Sean, Kid Cudi, and commonly known Jay-Z become more open to not only talk about their own mental health, but about the overall topic of mental health. And by doing so and helping bring this topic into the spotlight, they've helped bring attention and awareness to mental health, especially within minority communities, and help break the stigma that is found within it. Not only do these artists help bring awareness and help break the stigma, but more commonly, their music help those who are suffering from mental illness improve in some way. Going back to speaking on how they help bring awareness, more than ever, they are now acknowledging mental health struggles. They are helping promote anti-stigma campaigns and are helping normalize seeking treatment or any type of help when it is needed. So in 2017, 17.3 million of adults aged 18 and up in the U.S. experienced at least one major depressive episode. That's 6.7% of adults in the U.S. Around that same time, Sir Robert Bryson Hall II, or better known as Logic, dropped his album, Everybody. And he included his song 1-800-273-8255. And this isn't just any regular number, it's the number for the National Suicide Prevention Hotline. And they provide resources for those who are experiencing mental health crisis and are going through suicidal thoughts. In 2017, as I watched the MTV and VMAs, Logic was found performing the song alongside artists such as Alicia Cara and Khalid. And his performance moved so many people in the crowd. He had celebrities in tears, and not only did it affect those in the crowd, but it ended up affecting the entire nation. Because as a result, the new National Suicide Prevention Lifeline informed us that their calls went up at least 50%, and it even tripled after his performance at the Grammys. And Logic had successfully started a conversation not only about suicide prevention and mental health, but about addressing these issues to the public and having it be more openly discussed. So in your minds is this each time a song is played. And not only do these artists help bring attention to the mental health, and they help, by bringing attention to mental health, they help open up conversations to discuss it more with others. For example, we have Kanye West. He is a prominent artist who's known to talk about mental health throughout his rap lyrics, and he did the same. He did that when he talked about his personal struggles and his bipolar diagnosis in his album Yay and 808 and Heartbreaks. And to those who are non-famous, seeing someone as mainstream artists talk about their own mental health publicly makes them feel less alone, knowing there's someone else out there that is also going through the same thing, regardless of what their social class status is or whether it is. Shows that mental health has no barriers and it affects everyone. And not only is it relatable to others, but it has the power to help improve one's mental illness, such as depression and anxiety. A study found that music therapy is a safe, low-risk way to help reduce depression and anxiety within patients who suffer from neurological conditions. And hearing others talk about, or hearing these mainstream artists talk about their issues and their mental health illnesses, help those who aren't as famous feel less feel less alone. And which is why music therapy is a safe, low-risk way to help improve your symptoms and help improve your overall mental health. One of the biggest impacts that mental health has had one of the biggest impacts that hip hop has had mental health related within its communities was it helped break the stigma within minority communities. For example, Black men and women within their communities are 20% most likely to develop these mental health issues, and 15% within Hispanic and Latino communities, and 13% within Asian American and Pacific Islander communities. And it may seem that since these percentages are so high that they are most likely to receive help, that isn't always the case. There are cultural barriers and poor socioeconomical statuses that make it hard for them to receive help. For example, we have Eben Lowe. He specializes in the effects that racism and discrimination has on the mental health of these minorities, and he breaks down that mental illness within these minorities have a stigma, and it's often seen as a weakness and quote-unquote white people issues. And it explains that since they are viewed as white people problems, it's often ignored or brushed upon. And this is probably due to the fact that male and female minorities within these communities are pressured to outperform their white counterparts, and because of it, their cries for help are often ignored or brushed off. And it may seem all bad right now, but there has been a shift to a more open discussion of mental health. For example, we have Kid Cudi. In 2013, he opened up about his antidepressant medication, his emotional breakdowns, and seeking help and treatment when he needed it the most. During the time, this was seen as revolutionary because it was something that wasn't done very often or done at all. And soon after that, more people followed him in said direction of expressing their mental health throughout their songs. And seeing someone in both the minority community and within a public eye makes it easier to normalize talks about mental health and publicly. As unlikely as it may seem, hip hop has played a very important role in dealing with mental health, and not only has it helped spread awareness, but it helps provide resources for those who need it the most, especially within communities where it's often ignored or looked down upon or seen as a flaw. And it has helped bring awareness to it and help promote the idea that no matter what you're going through, regardless of community or whatever community you belong to, it's never seen as a weakness or should be seen something as shameful to talk about your mental health. Thank you very much for your time.